Another exciting edition of Lance and Larry tracking the pack. Big game this week against the Lions. And Larry, you and I saw it when we taped the Mike McCarthy show. Mike coming off the bye, very focused. He's 6-1 after a bye week. What makes him so good in this situation, in your opinion, Larry?
Well, probably at the end of the day, you'd have to credit some of that to just having good players. And he's got a program he believes in, that they believe in. And I think he does a good job of letting the team get fresh, but when they come back, get them focused right away. Like Monday's practice was in full pads. They didn't just kind of ease into the situation. He let them know it was time for football again. And you add it all up, and like you mentioned, they're 6-1 after the bye under Mike McCarthy.
Larry, you might disagree, but I kind of like the fact that he got a little bit salty when talking about the history lesson, so to speak. 22 consecutive games the Packers have beaten the Lions in the state of Wisconsin, and Mike McCarthy didn't want any part of that. Is that a good motivational tactic to say that's past history, we got to focus on Sunday?
Well, I think the important thing when it comes to the motivation part of it is he's not bringing up the streak to the guys. I mean, he's not even talking about it. For instance, David Bakhtiari, their starting left tackle, when the last time the Lions won in the state of Wisconsin, he was 2.5 months old. I mean, it means little or nothing to the guys, so it's not that big a deal unless you make it a big deal, and clearly Mike McCarthy has not. Guys are guys. When they get out there on Sunday, they're not thinking about what the team 5 years ago did, or 10 years ago did, or 20 years ago for that matter in this case. They're thinking about here and now, and this particular Packer team against this particular Lion team, which is a pretty good one. I mean, I think the Lions shape up as a tough customer on Sunday.
All right, it is the first division game for the Packers this year. Everybody knows the Lions 3-1, tied with the Bears. I like to say, Larry, that a must-win is only when you're in the playoffs, when you win and you advance, lose and go home, or if you're in the regular season and you have to win to obviously make the postseason like what the Packers did in the Super Bowl year. But this is a pretty crucial game nonetheless that you don't want to get too far behind the division leaders, correct?
No, absolutely. I would agree with you. You know, must-wins, it's a little early for that. But if you lose it, you go to 1-3, and just to get a game over 500, you got to win 3 in a row. And the Packers, 2 of those 3 are on the road. So, I mean, you're facing a tougher situation, and you want to get the ship righted and get guys feeling good about themselves, get the team confident and on a roll. They've had experience in this regard. Last year, after 3 games, they had the same record, 1-2, and they went on to finish 11-5 and win the North Division again. So it's a situation, they've been there, they've done that. The guys who actually participated last year, like the Aaron Rodgers of the world, like the Clay Matthews of the world, they got to send the message to the young guys that, hey, we got to start playing our best football. We got to start, or at least striving to play our best football, get stronger in the fourth quarter, and get it going right now. Because, as you mentioned, you fall behind and you're always climbing out of a hole. You leave your margin of error next to nothing as the season wears on. It's time to, you know, pad that win column a little bit, and it's got to start soon. 15
years ago, if you heard the chants, Reggie, Reggie, at Lambeau Field, it was for the Minister of Defense, Reggie White. If you hear it on Sunday, Larry, it's not going to be a good thing. It's going to be for Reggie Bush. What has he done in your film study to really revitalize that Lions offense?
Well, first of all, as a runner, he can make people miss. And a good back will do more for a line than a line will do for him. And Detroit has made changes up front, but the real change is what's behind him, Reggie Bush. He can take a situation, and there's a guy smack dab in the middle of the hole, and he can juke him out, deke him, and get by him, and suddenly what should have been a 1 or 2 yard gain is a 12 or 13 yard gain, or maybe more in Reggie Bush's case. And also, he's also given them a lot of flexibility in the passing game, split them out of the backfield, screen passes, swing passes, that kind of thing, and he's always a threat. They're using him very well, and he certainly takes some of the attention away from Calvin Johnson, who's always dangerous in his own right.
And Morgan Burnett is back. He's making his 2013 debut. I will admit, Larry, I took this guy for granted. I didn't realize how good he was at obviously calling out the plays, knowing what was going on in the back end. How big of an addition is that?
Well, I think insofar as the duties you just mentioned, communication and so forth, kind of leadership things, he certainly brings that to the party. Although he's a relatively young player, he has played a lot, he has produced, and I kind of look at him as the glue that holds the back end together. That having been said, what he also brings to the party, he's the best safety when it just comes to playing football down after down. He's the best safety the Packers have. And leadership starts with performance, and he's the best performer at that position. So they get a double whammy with that. Not only the leadership and the communication and all that good stuff, he's a guy that can play the game. And the Packers have needed him, and M.D. Jennings will start alongside him. And it's a much better situation in the Packers back end when Morgan Burnett is healthy, has practiced all week, doesn't show any ill effects from the hamstring. I think you're right that he will make his debut come Sunday against the Lions.
Final thing, Larry, I don't think it's any secret that the Lions are one of the chippiest or one of the dirtiest teams in the league. On the dirt-ometer, though, you played against the Raiders back in their heyday in the 70s, and obviously some of those Bears games got out of control. Where do they rank, in your opinion, on the teams that kind of take it beyond the whistle to the echo of the whistle and then some?
How about this, Lance? This may surprise you. I think they have in the past, anyway, ranked somewhere near the Forrest Gregg Packers. That was a chippy outfit. And I think this year, the Lions, okay, they were chippy last year and had a miserable season. I think they've righted that ship just a bit. They still play to the echo of the whistle, certainly. And Ndamukong Suh still has some issues, shall we say, on the football field, but they don't seem to be as involved in extracurriculars as they were in previous seasons. And it looks like the Packers, yeah, they got to be ready for a team that wants to get that last shove in, but so the Green Bay Packers. So I don't look for that to play an enormous role in this game, and the Packers just have to be careful about not getting drawn into extracurriculars to where it hurts the team. If they want to shove a guy, if they want to get the last word in, hey, whatever, you know, it's a tough game. But they can't get involved in situations, drawn into situations where something breaks loose after the play and it does nobody, neither team, any good. The Packers got to stay away from that. If anybody gets penalized, let it be the Detroit Lions. But as I mentioned, they don't seem to be as much that way this season as they were last.
Larry, we look forward to your call on the Packers Radio Network. You're watching Lance and Larry tracking the Pack once again.